people in the crowd sending their energy in one direction for it not to be reciprocated isn't what this scene is all about. It's about inclusivity. It's about everyone. It's about creating a dialogue and a conversation between those that have put you on that stage. And that's why Eurovision's amazing. And that's why I think that rock and metal fans like will find a home in all of its balminess and its bonkersness.
I want to start, actually, as it's rock sound, and we want to talk about our favourite bands and all that kind of stuff. Some kind of big rock sound news that broke yesterday. I don't know if you saw this, but Sum 41 have decided they're going to call it a day, man. And sad news, they're going to do a big farewell tour and farewell albums. That's all very, very nice. But when I was doing my research for this, I hadn't realised that was that your first gig you ever saw, was Sum 41?
Yeah, Wembley Arena. Mate, I'm gutted. I heard the news last night. Life goes on. It's essentially for those guys, and they're obviously at a part in their life where they want to move on, But the sadness is for the fans, I guess, because it's beyond our control, and you obviously have like amazing memories. Like if you're anything like me, James, like Sum 41 were the sound of your kind of childhood. Like I remember when I played Tony Hawk's 2 so much, and I know this is sacrilege to say, but I got so sick of the soundtrack, and it's an amazing soundtrack, but I just would play it to Sum 41 instead. I just put the album on, mute the TV, and play Tony Hawk's to like All Killer No Filler or Half Hour of Power. Or but yeah, I'm gutted, man. And I actually was like, in my sadness, was thinking about messaging Derek and being like, mate, go forth, do amazing things. I'd love to sing some music with you or make some music with you in the future, because I think he's great. He loves music, man, and you can really tell that.
Yeah, no, he's such a dedicated artist, and he loves, actually, particularly in the last couple of years, it seems, writing with other people, collaborating more with other people and stuff as well. I'd love to see that, man, because it definitely feels like, just even little things I've heard you say in the past, that was kind of a pivotal moment for you, right? I mean, that time in everyone's lives is, right? It's where you really kind of discover music, discover where you want to go creatively, but particularly moments like that seem to have played a big part in what you wanted to end up doing as a career.
Yeah, definitely. And then, like, it's that moment of youth where you're coming into your own in terms of your musical taste, and you don't quite know how to express that apart from mimicking, right? And we all go through that phase. So you dress like your favorite musician. I remember like spiking my hair up, trying to get it exactly like his, like wearing t-shirts, still like wear t-shirt. I remember like he had t-shirts like this, do you know what I mean? So it's still with me, obviously. But like, I remember watching the DVDs and things they were saying and everything. So when you're that age, you kind of, you don't have an identity yourself yet because you're too young. You haven't got the life experience. So you kind of like, you parrot these sort of people that are the place that you think that you want to be. And yeah, for me, Sum 41 were that sort of the first memories of doing it.
Man, what a legacy they have to go on with. It's great. And you know, you've had some amazing moments this last year. Before we get into what you're doing now and everything, like, I've got to mention the last time I actually saw you perform live, which was at Wembley Stadium, no less. What an incredible day that was, that Taylor Hawkins tribute. You know, so touching, so beautiful, but also just so many amazing, amazing musicians coming together. It must have been, I mean, not only Foo Fighters, but Queen as well. That's got to be quite the moment for you.
Oh, mate, I don't know. Like, you can't. This is the stuff of pipe dreams, really. You know, not just dreams. Like ones that you kind of dream yourself, but you also like sort of talk yourself out of after going, yeah, but that's ridiculous, you know. But it came true, and I remember getting that phone call and just being like moved to basically tears. Like when I got the invitation, like, hey, what are you doing Saturday? Want you to come and sing Somebody to Love, and just, you know, like how much that meant to me and what an honor that was. Like thinking, you know, as an avid Queen like respecter and fan, like everyone around the globe basically, you immediately think, right, the where Wembley, although it's a new stadium, it's still on the patch of earth that the old one stood. And the last time that song was being sung was by George Michael, in honor of like Freddie at his memorial concert, and the last time the band were even there at that postcode, you know, it was a huge privilege and a huge honor, and I took like utmost respect on that stage to do my bit and do it to the best of my ability.
Yeah, no, job well done, man. Job well done. It was, on a day of a lot of standout moments, that really kind of raised the roof, man. And congratulations on that. It was amazing.
Bless you, man. Thank you.
And is this, you've had, like I say, so many moments through the year. I mean, I saw you with The Darkness's Justin Hawkins at Christmas as well. All these kind of great rock figures. I guess that my question is, when it came to time for you to do things like the album, and obviously I know there's more new music on the way, how did those experiences kind of influence where you wanted to go as an artist? These incredible crowds, working with legends, people you've admired, I'm sure, for a long time. How did that impact where you wanted to go as an artist yourself?
To be honest, it's all in melody. Like for me, one thing I really learned throughout lockdown, and making those videos in the corner of my shed, was that there was no boundary lines that I was willing to put up anymore in terms of like my taste when it came to music. Like I said, Iron Maiden are probably one of my favorite bands. I've seen them, I can't count how many times I've seen them, and they've been so like seminal to me like on my musical journey. And I remember thinking to myself, I want to make it the way Iron Maiden made it. So I play around pubs and clubs in the East End, like non-stop, thinking that nothing has changed since the time that they made it. I was trying to, again, we're talking about mimicking, right? I was trying to mimic their story, thinking that their story could become like, it would have some kind of relevance to mine. And then you realize that that's someone else's story. And how often do we all do that in life? Like we try and talk ourselves and reason to ourselves that someone else's story would fit just like a shirt off a peg on ourselves, and you quickly realize that like you don't get the choice, that life will make the choice for you. So like for me, it wasn't doing it that way. It was singing Britney Spears in my mum's kitchen. That's what lit the fuse for me. So, and I'm grateful for that. I wouldn't be here chatting with you. I wouldn't be chatting about all these amazing experiences had it not been for these things. And you can't, who knows where they come from is what I'm basically going to say. So when in the past, when I build up walls and be like, I want to be this specific artist and I want to make it this specific way because this is the true way and this is the most authentic way. As soon as I released that, then I actually started making progress and making music I loved, and making music that sort of made me feel something. But ultimately, man, it all comes back to melody. And like Steve Harris is an Iron Maiden are the absolute gods of that. You put melody everywhere, like in every single like part, every instrument is adding to that like melodic driving force. And it's the same with pop music. It's the same with all kinds of music.
Yeah, it's so interesting hearing you talk about the idea of letting go of what this journey should be and everything, because it leads on so nicely to Eurovision, of course. I'm speaking to you right now during Eurovision week. I know you're going to be in Liverpool later this week. And what's been really, really lovely about that competition, I'm someone who's been watching that since I'm a kid. I also happen to be a massive rock music fan, obviously. But it's really been wonderful seeing over the last few years in particular how the world of rock music has kind of embraced Eurovision a bit more, and vice versa. Like it almost felt like before you'd see the occasional act, but this year alone there's maybe 6-7 rock bands on the lineup this year. It's got to be really nice for someone like yourself who's grown up loving that music to see that this contest has actually opened out to that genre in particular a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I can't go any further without like bigging up Lordy. I got to speak to Mr. Lordy like the other day, and he had his claws all over the place. Like, it's mad. And like, I remember being a kid just learning guitar and watching Eurovision that year, and it blew my mind. Like, this music that I was really getting into was on the world stage, and like expressing themselves in that sort of like that manner, and people just loving it. One thing I love about the rock and metal community and the alternative music community is that for the most part, we don't harbor elitism. When we're looking at the best of us, the best of the scene and the best of this world, we really we welcome anything. And that's the kindest people I've ever met are from this community. And I think the values are fantastic, the graft, the spirit and the vigor of never giving up, and always toiling and working in the shadows, essentially because you have this dream that you refuse to give up on. And whether that dream even reaches fruition, you'll never stop. And that, I think, is something that is forged in the furnaces of transit vans around the UK and Europe back in the day, and playing to no one. And I think I'm grateful and I'm proud. Not a nice word to use, but yeah, just grateful to have started off in that scene.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been amazing, like I say, seeing it kind of go on this big worldwide stage with Eurovision. I've got to ask you before I let you go, I know you've been asked many times about what advice would you give performers, but I would love to know what advice you would give specifically to someone like yourself who's come up through that rock and alternative scene like we're talking about, and are going out there and playing with a rock band, they're playing a rock track. Is there anything in particular you think an artist like that should know before they take to the stage at Eurovision?
At Eurovision in particular, perhaps any stage. I think that's a tough question. What helped me was, before going on that stage, I took a bit of time to myself and put a lot of trust in the years that I'd been doing it to no one, been singing on stages to empty pubs and clubs, and was sort of just took a little bit of time to say, of quiet, to be like, those years will come and support you when you walk out on that stage in front of 200 odd million people. Don't think about that. Just walk on there bursting at the seams with gratitude that you're here in the first place, and relinquish the control that you think you have, that you don't have, over how this performance goes. You've done everything you can. You respect the music. You respect the opportunity. You're grateful for the opportunity. So because of that, those years will come and support you, and you'll sing from the right place. And that's what I'll be doing this Saturday when we take to that stage. I can't wait for you to see what we've been working on, and also it goes beyond music, man. We're talking, the reason that I love Eurovision, that I think it can really resonate with rock fans, regardless of what genre is on that stage, is what it represents, right? And this is as a rock fan and alternative music follower, it's always been about intention, and it's always been about the significance of something. We all know that people in the crowd sending their energy in one direction for it not to be reciprocated isn't what this scene is all about. It's about inclusivity. It's about everyone. It's about creating a dialogue and a conversation between those that have put you on that stage. And that's why Eurovision's amazing. And that's why I think that rock and metal fans will find a home in all of its balminess and its bonkersness. And we're doing a track, it's a new single called Mountain, but it's beyond just walking onto that stage and being, hey, this is my new single, go and stream it on Spotify and I don't know, make it viral on TikTok. These things, it's vapid and it's soulless, and there's no spirit in those actions and asking people to do those things. What holds spirit is the intention with how you go about performing it and presenting it. And the people that I'm performing it with, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, because we went into a rehearsal last night, and some of those individuals that are coming on that stage and that are blazing their spirit and having that platform and sharing it as a team. We are a team going onto that stage. And I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to spoil the surprise, but please check it out. Rock fans and people in this institution are going to absolutely love this.
Well, there's a tease. I think this will go out maybe a day before it happens. So I'm very excited to see you got there, man.
Check it out. We are moving mountains tonight or tomorrow night if it's the day before.
There we go.